Imagine waking up one day to find that everything you thought you knew about yourself, your beliefs, your understanding, even your very thoughts were nothing more than echoes in an empty room. Now, imagine that room is your mind. But here's the catch: what if I told you that the thinker, the one you believe is you, isn't separate from those thoughts at all? Intrigued? Let's dive into a journey that challenges the very core of who we think we are. We often pride ourselves on our ability to understand, to grasp concepts, and to make sense of the world. But what if understanding itself is a trap? Imagine this: you're in a dense forest. You have a map, but the paths keep shifting. The more you try to follow the map, the more lost you become. This is what happens when we try to understand the nature of our thoughts, using the mind, a mind that's already conditioned by past experiences, beliefs, and knowledge. The map we're using is flawed because it was drawn by the very thing we're trying to understand. We often think that by understanding something, we're freeing ourselves. But here's a startling truth: understanding can become another form of imprisonment. Imagine you were trapped in an iron cage and someone offers you a golden cage instead. It feels like an upgrade, right? But you're still caged. Similarly, when we think we've understood a concept, we often just replace one set of beliefs with another. We're no longer in the iron cage of ignorance, but now we're trapped in the golden cage of knowledge. True freedom doesn't come from understanding, it comes from transcending the need to understand. Our mind loves to play tricks on us. It convinces us that we can understand everything, that we can pin down the essence of who we are with thoughts and words. But have you ever noticed that the more you try to grasp a thought, the more it slips away? The mind is like a trickster, always offering us just enough to keep us chasing, but never enough to let us catch the truth. And here's the kicker: the mind that's trying to understand is the same mind that's generating the thoughts. It's like a dog chasing its tail. Round and round we go, but we never really get anywhere. Now, let's get to the heart of the matter. When you sit quietly and observe your thoughts, who is the observer? Is it you? Or is it just another thought, a thought observing other thoughts? The moment you try to separate the observer from the observed, you're caught in the web of duality. You think there's a you watching the thoughts. But what if there's no separation at all? What if the thinker and the thought are one and the same? This realization can be both terrifying and liberating. It's like realizing that the mirror you've been looking into your whole life doesn't reflect an image, it reflects the entire world. There's a delicate balance to be maintained here. On one side, if you try to understand this concept with your mind, you fall into the trap of thinking you've grasped it. On the other side, if you give up trying to understand, you might fall into complacency, believing that nothing matters. The key is awareness, a heightened state of observation where you neither cling to understanding nor reject it. You walk the tightrope, fully aware of each step, knowing that at any moment you could fall. But this awareness is where true freedom lies. So, what does it mean to rise above the mind? It means living without the constant chatter of thoughts, without the need to label, judge, or understand. It means experiencing life directly, without the filter of the mind. Think about it: how often do we actually experience something fully, without immediately categorizing it as good or bad, right or wrong? To rise above the mind is to live in a state of pure awareness, where thoughts come and go, but they no longer have the power to define you. To truly observe without judgment, without the interference of the mind, requires a quality that's rare in today's world: selflessness. When you observe selflessly, you're not trying to gain anything, not understanding, not knowledge, not even enlightenment. You're simply witnessing what is, without any desire to change it. This kind of observation is like a mirror reflecting whatever stands before it, without preference or distortion. It's only in this state of pure, selfless observation that you can begin to see the truth of who you are. Many of us hold on to the belief that we are the soul, separate from the mind and body. But here's something to ponder: if the soul were truly separate, would it be affected by thoughts? Could a single thought make the soul happy or sad? The very fact that we feel emotions in response to our thoughts suggests that the soul, as we imagine it, is not separate at all. It's just another layer of thought, another belief we've collected over time. To realize this is to begin shedding the layers of illusion that keep us trapped in the cycle of birth and rebirth of thought and thinker. Krishnamurti rejected the traditional role of the guru because he understood something profound: no one can give you the truth. You have to discover it for yourself. Imagine someone carrying you to the peak of a mountain. You'd get the view, but you'd miss the journey. And it's the journey that matters. It's the climb, the falls, the struggle that leads to real understanding. If someone else gives you the answer, it's not your answer, it's theirs. And in that, there's no freedom. True liberation comes only when you've made the journey yourself, when you've climbed the mountain and seen the view with your own eyes. In the end, the journey of the thinker and the thought is a journey of self-discovery. It's about realizing that the thinker is not separate from the thought, that they are one and the same. And in that realization, there is a freedom that transcends all understanding. It's a freedom that can't be taught, given, or taken. It can only be experienced. So I leave you with this thought: stop trying to understand. Stop trying to find the answers outside of yourself. Instead, turn inward. Observe. And in that observation, let go. Because it's only when you let go of the need to understand that you truly begin to see. If this resonated with you, take a moment to reflect on your own thoughts and the observer within. Share your experiences in the comments below. And if you found value in this journey, consider subscribing for more explorations into the depths of the mind and beyond. Remember, the journey is yours alone. Walk it with awareness.